What's up, guys? My name's Tiffany. I have been trying to upload and do this video for like weeks, like probably a couple months. It's really frustrating, but sometimes I just don't have time to like sit and make a video. You know, I have a kid, and she doesn't require a lot of attention. She just likes attention. But so this video is about encephalocele and being aware and know that there is hope and it's not always negative, and that babies do survive. So my story, my daughter is 6.5 months now. She has encephalocele. If you see me look this way, it's because she's awake and she's playing in her chair and making all kinds of weird noises and being weird. And spitting out her pacifier. So at 18.5 weeks, I found out that I was having a girl. We named her Zoe, her dad named her. So, her name is Zoe. We found out that she has encephalocele. I was with County Hospital. They are not very knowledgeable on encephalocele. Not a lot of doctors are. She informed me what it was. It's a narrow tube defect where the narrow tube doesn't completely form in the early stages of pregnancy, and pretty much she was missing bone in the, you know how our head's like on the bottom right here, there's like bone. There was bone missing, and then there was a hole in the back of her head, and in that hole it was growing brain tissue and spinal fluid were growing in a sac behind her head. She informed me that I should terminate, that I shouldn't carry the pregnancy because babies who have encephalocele either die right before birth or they die right after. This is not the case. A handful of times, I wouldn't say a handful of times, but I'll explain later what our neurosurgeon said. But the doctor told me I should terminate, and I don't believe in abortion for myself. If you have an abortion, if you've gotten them, no judgment, no nothing. That's your choice. I know people who have had abortions, and I don't judge them for it. It's just in my own thing and what I believe in. Just for myself, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I wouldn't be able to cope, you know. So me and my dad came home and we did separate researches on encephalocele, what our options were, because she didn't even refer us to anybody or anything. So we came back with the same conclusion: Children's Hospital. We saw a couple of successful stories of babies who got surgeries that had severe encephalocele, and they are doing amazing. They're like 2-3 years old, you know, really great. So the top 3 hospitals that we found were CHLA, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, Children's Hospital of Seattle, and Children's Hospital of Boston. And we were prepared to go to Seattle or Boston if we have to. By the way, love Seattle. My family lives out there, so if I were to go out there, I would have family up there. I was planning this whole thing, but I referred myself over to Children's Hospital Los Angeles. There I saw the high-risk doctor, I believe his name was Dr. Miller. He works with CHLA. He specializes in babies with encephalocele. He took a look, and then he set me up with an appointment. They are amazing. They get down to the nitty and gritty. They make all your appointments for you. So they got me an appointment with the neurosurgeon. Her name is Dr. Kina. She's no longer with CHLA. She went to another hospital, I think in South Carolina. She left in September. So she's not there anymore, but I ended up getting with her. She ordered an MRI scan to be done of Zoe, and it was really terrifying, really scary, because still in my mind I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea what the future held. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to, like, if she was going to survive, you know, because what they gave me at the other hospital was that she wasn't going to live, she was going to die, I wouldn't have her, yada, yada, yada. So I got the MRI scan done, and then finally went and saw Dr. Kina, and I finally got hope. She looked at her MRI scan, so that the only part that was in her brain was the part that controls the vision. I don't know the medical term for it, so don't ask. But That's the only thing that she had in the sac, and some spinal fluid, but that was it. And also she had no other complications, no heart problems, nothing else. So we asked her a bunch of questions like, what's going to happen? How is this all going to play out? And she answered every single question that we had. She was going to have her surgery early. Like, she likes to remove the encephalocele at an earlier age because it makes it more comfortable for the baby, and it makes it more comfortable on the parents to be able to hold and things like that, which I was super grateful for, because I didn't want to wait till she was like 5-6 months, like down the line, like having her to live with this, like that would be really uncomfortable, and it wouldn't be easy. Needless to say, none of it has been easy, but that just would not make it easy. So she informed me that Zoe's encephalocele was not severe whatsoever. She has seen babies with worse cases than mine, that she was going to live. She said pretty much that all a baby needs to live, to be able to breathe when it comes out of the womb, is a brainstem. As long as a baby has a brainstem, it can live. So with that in mind, I was super relieved. I was so happy. It was good. Like, I mean, there was still the fear of the unknown because I didn't know exactly what was going to happen to her, but at least I got some comfort in knowing that she was actually going to be able to survive, and that my case wasn't severe and she was going to be okay. So we had everything planned out. My due date was October 3rd, and I was going to have a C-section. Plans changed. I ended up getting severe preeclampsia. For those of you who don't know what preeclampsia is, it's horrible. It's high blood pressure when pregnant. Worst cases that happen, you can go to elampsia, which is you have seizures, you could burst the placenta, or you can lose your own life and, of course, your baby's life. Mine was super severe. They couldn't control it. So I ended up having her at 31 and a half weeks. I'll probably do another video on preeclampsia because I'm still having effects from the preeclampsia now, 6.5 months later, and it's really difficult, but things happen for a reason. Trying to get it fixed. Anyways, this is about encephalocele. So I had her at 31 and a half weeks. I delivered her on August 4th, 2017 at 6:43 p.m. They ended up transferring her to Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Mind you, I was in Torrance when I delivered. So they transferred her at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't see her for 3 days. I made sure that when I got out, or that when I was going to be discharged, that it would be before her surgery, because she had surgery on the 3rd day. And they made it happen, thank God. When I first got out, they didn't give me any blood pressure medicine, so I had to go right back in within a couple hours, and then they kept me overnight. And I ended up making it to Children's Hospital Los Angeles, I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes before her surgery. My mom and dad were there, her dad was there, and I was there, and they ended up removing the encephalocele. Her neurosurgeon said that they had to remove part of her vision, like they said before, but when they went in, they found out that some of her cerebellum was in there. If you don't know what cerebellum is, that's the part that controls your balance. And so they had to remove some of that too, which is fine. I actually have a friend who has a baby that I think they had to remove all of his cerebellum, and he runs, jumps, swims, plays. He's like a normal kid. They also put in a temporary shunt in, as well as remove the encephalocele, so she had 2 surgeries on her 3rd day. She did amazing. About a month later, she ended up having to get the temporary shunt taken out and a permanent one put in, because what was happening is the shunt's right here on her head, and it's a catheter, and then a tube that goes, well, this is the permanent one. It goes down her neck all the way into her abdominal cavity where it absorbs. The reason why she had to get it done is because her body wasn't absorbing it in her head, so she was getting this huge, it was like literally like out to here, like full of fluid. It was applying pressure to her brain. She also has an opening in her spine. It's not as bad as it was before when she was born. Last time they checked, it was smaller, and they said smaller, if not the same. Like, it's smaller than when she was born. But so they put in the permanent one, and then she was having DSATs, which is where the heart rate and the breathing drop, and they have to stimulate her to wake her up, which means they have to like hit her foot or shake her awake, you know, interfere with her to be able to wake up to breathe. And during this time, pulmonology came and did a sleep study on her. Instead of waiting till she had the permanent one put in, they had her do it when she had the temporary one. And her neurosurgeon even told me that the pressure applying to her brain from the temporary shunt was messing up her breathing and her heart rate and everything. It was messing with her, and that, you know, so I asked pulmonology to do another test, and they wouldn't do it. And I want to be very clear. If you are in the NICU, if you have your kid in the hospital, you push for what you want, and you push hard because you know what's best for your kid. Sometimes doctors don't know what's best. You have that parent instinct that they like to call, and I had to push a lot for things that I wanted. And not to say that Children's Hospital is a bad place. Very, very great place. Everybody was nice. I just had my issues. I had one nurse where I was outside talking to the doctors for, I would say, 10-15 minutes, and when I came in, there was a blanket over her. Blanket was over her face. She wasn't swaddled. She still had her pajamas on from the night before. This nurse was extremely, extremely rude. And when I came, you know, she's only a month old. You swaddle her. Like, every nurse swaddles her. Everybody swaddled her except this one nurse. And then we always put a blanket over the swaddle because it keeps her warm because she'd get cold. She was only 3 pounds 3 ounces when she was born. And when I went to the head nurse said, okay, we'll just practice safe sleep. I was like, that's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking because my daughter came in beet red, she's sweating. How long was that blanket over her face? Because we were outside for 15 minutes and the nurse wasn't even in here. I'm not going to get on this rant, but long story short, we did safe sleep and she ended up going home a couple weeks later. But anyways, so when we put in the permanent shunt, she had no more problems. She had no more issues. She was in the NICU for 9 weeks. They finally sent her home. She was able to eat from a bottle, finally, and that was one of the biggest things to be able to be sent home, is that she had to eat from a bottle. And so she finally did, and I want to tell you that these encephalocele babies are such warriors and fighters. She came home. We had so many doctor appointments after she came home. It was such a mess, but now at 6.5 months, they said that she wouldn't be able, bless you, she wouldn't be able to eat on her own, breathe on her own, or even move. She eats 8 ounces every 3 to 4 hours. She moves constantly. Let's see if you can see her. Say hi, Zoe. That's little Zoe. As you can tell, she has oxygen on, because when they did the sleep study, they said that she has obstructive breathing, which I think is false, but we get another sleep study done in May. But she eats on her own. Like I said, she eats from the bottle. She eats pureed foods. She is a little bit of a picky eater, but she eats them. She breathes on her own. She needs the oxygen a tiny, tiny bit. Only, I think it's like 3/4 of a liter, and that's it. And her neurosurgeon, the last appointment we had, saw how big she was getting, and he looked at her MRI scan and that she got when she was 3 months old, and he was just amazed. He's like, I don't expect any problems with her. I expect her to live a fully normal life. Hopefully we can get her off oxygen soon, but he said he expects her to be completely normal and nothing wrong. And that's completely amazing. And she has been the best gift I've ever gotten. And motherhood is not easy, especially being a single mom is not easy. But you learn to do it anyways. But I just wanted to give some people hope. Sorry I keep looking this way. It's because she's awake and I just don't want her crying while I do this, because this is the only time that I have, I think, this whole week to even try to make this video. I just wanted to give hope to people, and I know that this is like kind of like a ramble, but it's really not. It's just I'm trying to share my experience of encephalocele and let you know babies will survive. don't give up on your child. You know, if one doctor says one thing, go get another opinion. Don't always trust one opinion. Always get a second opinion for anything. And I'm so glad I did, and I'm so glad that I didn't just sit and like, whatever happens, happens, because I know there's a lady right now that's thinking about that, not like with encephalocele, but with like something else. And I just feel like if I let people know my story and share my story, hopefully it can give you encouragement. Not every encephalocele baby's the same. Every encephalocele baby is different. It is what it is. Like I said, get a second opinion if you don't like the first opinion. Always ask questions. Questions, questions, questions. That's super key. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. And like I said, I'll probably be doing one on like preeclampsia and some other stuff. Trying this out. We'll see how this works. I'm not fully sure how it works, but yeah, I hope that this gives you words of encouragement. Always look on the internet too. Contact your local children's hospital. Ask questions. Doctors tell you the worst case scenario, but they're not God. They can't play God. They can help you, but they don't know the future. Your baby will overcome stuff that you wouldn't even imagine or even believe. So I hope you enjoy this video and have a good day.